All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the PFM channel. Really quickly, I wanted to highlight a software that I think has something that HubSpot, Salesforce, fill in the blank there, doesn't have. I'm not going to make it a really long video, but I wanted to highlight it because I found it so useful being in sales, being in marketing, whatever. It's an awesome prospect tool. So let's get right into it. So really quickly, before we dive into two of its actual features that I'm going to highlight, I wanted to say they do have a free version. If you want to use my link in the description, you can sign up and get the free version of Apollo. They also have paid plans, but you can basically use everything on their free version. It's just a little more limited, and obviously you don't get as many contact and email credits as you would if you paid. All right, so with that being said, let's get right into it. So Apollo is basically one really, really big database. So let me clear these filters here. But as we can see, so it's saying 216 million people in their database. And so this is something that I haven't really ever seen before getting into Apollo. And once I found Apollo, I found some other companies that kind of do the same thing. But I have to say, and I actually had a meeting with another one. I won't name it just because, but Apollo, in my opinion, is definitely the best contact database out there. It's the best one I've ever used. I mean, all these filters we can see here, it goes above and beyond. And the filters that I really like to use, let's see here, is the email status one. So we can make sure that we're only finding what Apollo has as its verified emails. Apollo has checks where it wants to refresh as much data as possible in their system. It wants to give you the most accurate information, and I found that it's pretty accurate. I've been able to set many meetings through cold outreach from getting people's email from Apollo. So that's one filter that I really like to use. And if you're in sales, if you're in marketing, I'm sure you've come across something like this before. But this is a contact database where you can get a bunch of people's information. You can access their email. Their mobile numbers are not very accurate. I would definitely stay away from those. Every time I've tried to use them, it was not accurate at all. But what we can see is these filters. You can look for specific job titles. So if you wanted project managers, you could literally type in anything there. You could look for job titles based on management level, etc. But you get the gist. There's a bunch of features, number of employees. There's also one filter that I really like to use, and it definitely cuts down the number of contacts by a lot. But you can make sure that you're only getting people's information that has been refreshed in Apollo, so updated in the last week, 2 weeks, a month. You can make sure that you're only getting data that has been updated very recently, which is of course going to increase your deliverability rate if you're going to be sending emails to these people. The only downside to Apollo's free version is, as we can see here, it tries to get you to buy their paid plan, and what it does to do that is sometimes it'll cross out information. So full contact details not available for free plans is what it's telling me. So you can just buy the free plan. It's not very expensive, especially compared to other services out there. You could realistically replace HubSpot with Apollo. Probably same thing for Salesforce. You're definitely not going to get as many features. Their CRM is I'll say it's kind of a joke. You're not going to use Apollo as a CRM, but you technically could. So its price for its paid plan is not bad. But even if you didn't want to buy the paid plan, what you can do is you have enough information here on who this person is. Go to LinkedIn, try to look for this person, and I'm sure you'll find out what this person's last name is. Then you can get their email from here, and you can go from there, prospect to that guy. Extra step, I think it's definitely worth it to buy the paid plan if you're going to be doing this with, more than 500 people a month. So if you're going to be sending 500 plus emails a month, you're definitely going to want to get the paid version. But really quickly, that's our contact database. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend at least checking out their free plan, which like I said, you can get with my link in the description, or you can just go to apollo.io and sign up. I'd appreciate it if you use my link, but of course you do not have to. And then the second thing that they have that I really like is these sequences. And as you can see here, I was trying to record a video where I was highlighting that their templates here, but you can just create manual sequences. So let's go and hit from scratch. Let's do test. So we can create email sequences in here. And again, if you've used these platforms before, it's going to be pretty straightforward, but we can basically set it to automatically email people here, 30 minutes after the contact is added to the sequence or immediately, whatever. So we can do that. We can basically just write an email in here, test email. You know how it is. They have dynamic variables, so you don't have to, if you're going to be emailing hundreds of people, you're obviously going to use these dynamic variables. So if you're going to say, hey, whatever their name is, you would do hey, and then put this dynamic variable in there for their first name. There's obviously things like that for companies, whatever, what their company is, etc. So you can save that. You can make as many steps as you want. And then from there, you just add contacts. But like I said, I know I'm talking pretty fast. I wanted to keep this short because I just wanted to highlight it. I think it honestly speaks for itself. The contact database is amazing, especially if you're in sales or marketing, whatever. The email sending, I think, is very, very easy and straightforward. They make it super easy. HubSpot is a little bit of a setup. So is Salesforce. I know those are two big platforms that people use for their email sending, but I think Apollo is very straightforward and easier. So if you don't have a huge team, if you don't have HubSpot or Salesforce set up already, I definitely, look into Apollo for that as well. But even if you do, like I said, the contact database is very good and it is most of the time accurate. And I have personally set meetings and I've personally set meetings for other companies using Apollo. So yeah, if you guys liked the video, drop a like and subscribe for more content. If you guys want, I can do a full in-depth video, but I thought I'd just start here. So thanks for watching and I will see you guys in the next video.